Good evening. Today is December the 2nd, 2025. Hope everybody has had a great day. I want to talk to you tonight about a year that occurred 20 years ago. So we're going back 20 years in time. The year 2005. That year was designated as International Year for Sport and Physical Education, and also the International Year of Microcredit. The beginning of 2005 also marked the end of the International Decade of the World's Indigenous People, lasting from 1995 to 2005. So it was quite a memorable year. On January 9th of that year, the Comprehensive Peace Agreement was signed, ending the Second Sudanese Civil War. Then, on February 10th, North Korea announced that it possessed nuclear weapons as protection against the hostility it says it received from the United States. On February 14th, former Lebanese Prime Minister Rafik Hariri was assassinated, along with 21 others, by a suicide bomber in Beirut. It was on that day also that YouTube, an American online video sharing and social media platform, was founded by Steve Chen, Chad Hurley, and Jawed Karim, headquartered in San Bruno, California. I thank them for this invention. Had it not been for this, I wouldn't be talking to you now. On April the 2nd, Pope John Paul II died. Over 4 million people traveled to the Vatican to mourn him. And it would be on April 19th that Pope Benedict XVI would succeed him, becoming the 265th Pope. And on April 23rd, the first ever YouTube video was uploaded titled Me at the Zoo. And this, what you're watching right now, is one of many that followed. May 5th, the 2005 United Kingdom general election was won by Prime Minister Tony Blair and the Labour Party for a third consecutive majority government. On July 2nd, Live Aid, a set of 10 simultaneous concerts, took place throughout the world, raising interest in Make Poverty History campaign. Unfortunately, we still have poverty with us 20 years later. On July 28th, as a result of the Good Friday Agreement signed in 1998, the Provisional Irish Republican Army, the IRA, ended its armed campaign and decommissioned their weapons by ordering all of its units to drop their arms under the supervision of the Independent International Commission on Decommission. It's interesting. You have a commission dedicated to decommissioning. On August 29th, Hurricane Katrina made landfall along the U.S. Gulf Coast, causing severe damage, killing over 1,000 people, and causing an estimate of $108 billion in damage. And on September 19th, North Korea agreed to stop building nuclear weapons in exchange for aid and cooperation. Exactly a month later, October 19th, the trial of Saddam Hussein began. And on October 24th, Rosa Parks died of natural causes. It was yesterday, December 1st, marked the 70th anniversary of her courageous act of refusing to give up her seat on the bus in Montgomery, Alabama. It was in 1985 she was the speaker for Women's Day at Smith Chapel AME Church in Dallas. And I was able to be present and meet this awesome Christian lady. When she died, there was a memorial service held at Smith Chapel that I attended, the same lady that was uh, there in 1985 who put the first program together was still there in 2005. One thing I noticed in looking at that program, which was a copy which was included with the 2005 program, the three uh, of the major people involved, Bishop Rember D. Stokes, uh, presiding elder H.F. Dodson, and Pastor James R. Anderson, had all passed away during that 20-year period. So that's what was going on in the world. Well, what was going on in my world? Well, quite a bit. Um, I taught classes at both Paul Quinn College and Cedar Valley College. I was involved in graduate studies at the University of Texas at Arlington. At the end of the year, I had 18 graduate hours in political science, and thus I was qualified to teach political science as well as religion and history. I crossed another threshold. I became qualified to teach religion at the end of the spring semester of 1987 when I had 18 graduate hours in religion. During the summer one of 1992, I acquired 18 graduate hours in history so I could then teach history. And by the end of 2005, I had enough hours to teach political science. And I've taught a wide variety of courses in all three subjects over the years. On Friday, December 2nd, I conducted a seminar on religion and mental health at Terrell State Hospital, where I'd worked from 1981 to 1986 as a social worker, and where I would pursue a chaplain internship in 2021. But that was the same day that made a major relocation. During that fall semester, I had a class in political science of judicial policy making in the American legal system, and I also had a class we were able to take up to 9 hours outside of political science. I did 9 hours in the Graduate School of Social Work. The class was direct practice and mental health, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I had, during the semester, another classmate and I made a trip to Terrell State Hospital and received a tour of the facility. And it was quite interesting. Deborah and I continued our pastoral ministry at Wayman Chapel, AME Church in Ennis. We completed the long-awaited relocation from Dallas to Ennis. In fact, it was on this day, December 2nd, that we made the move. We had been appointed to Wayman Chapel on November 16th of 2002, which was the 20th anniversary of the surgery I'd had at Terrell Colonial Hospital for a deviated nasal septum. That was in 1982. It was 2002 is when I got the appointment. In 2012, I made a type of pilgrimage back to Terrell and had a very interesting day there. But it took us 3 years to get things in order to relocate from Dallas to Ennis. And We applied for a Texas State Historical Marker, and we were able to dedicate the marker in the renovated fellowship hall the following year. And well, actually, let me take that back. We didn't. We got the marker in 2006, but it wasn't until January 28th of 2007 that the dedication took place. My articles appeared in the Philaxis magazine and in Ennis Daily News. My two books at the time, Blind Lemon Jefferson, His Life, His Death, and His Legacy, and Prince Hall Freemasonry in the Lone Star State from Cuny to Curtis, 1875 to 2003, generated sales. And it would be in 2006 that my third book would be published, and my fourth book in 2015. I pray to God I'll have more books written before it's all over. And I contributed articles to the upcoming Heritage of Hill County, Texas. On this in 2005, I wrote about 3 Whitney churches and the 1860 Hill County slave schedules. On November 20th, I preached at Pleasant Hill Baptist Church in Whitney and presented some photographs to the church. And we attended a number of enjoyable family reunions. On Saturday, June the 24th, we attended a joint reunion for the Waco High classes of 1968, 1969, and 1970. I graduated in 69. It's always good to see old friends. And so let's say that year we had a lot going on. Remember, December 1st was a Thursday, and I got to give my presentation for my social work class at UTA first and then leave because I told them I was fixing to move. That took a lot of work. The next day, that morning, I went to Terrell State Hospital and did that workshop on religion and mental health. And then that afterward, we moved from Waco to Ennis. I'm sorry, from Dallas to Ennis. We served as pastor and wife of Wayman Chapel from 2002 until 2016. 14 years, that's the longest I've stayed at any church. We're now in our 9th year at Bethel, Corsicana, and God willing, we'll be staying there till late next year when we will be retiring from the AME ministry, at least active pastorate, and making our final move this side of glory, God willing, to Deborah's hometown of Fairfield. It's been quite a journey, and 2005 was an important year in the world, an important year in my life. Have a good evening.